He is entertaining and informative. He's John DePietro on News Talk 630 and 99.7 FM WPRO.
Hi, everyone. We are back. You are listening to the John DePietro Show, and I'm Patricia Raskin, filling in the day after Thanksgiving, Black Friday. We only have a minute, so I'm going to just set up our interview with Mary-Osullivan, our next guest, coming up right after the break. Mary-Osullivan is the owner of Encore Executive and Professional Coaching. And we're really going to talk about, if you've tried everything with work, but you're ready to make an exit, how do you do that? And how do you find the right next best thing for yourself? Mm-hmm. Hey, Mary.
How are you?
Hi, Mary. Good. We only have about 1 minute, right, Keith? So, Mary, give us some inspiration in a minute, and then we will come back and have time with you.
So everything your previous guest said is absolutely true. When you're trying to make a decision about your job, you, particularly if you're among that large percentage of people that are not engaged, and you really feel like it's time to exit. So my message is, don't do anything drastic. Take a deep breath.
Yep.
And try to get as most as you can out of your current situation.
All right.
Because everybody needs a plan B, Patricia.
All right, and that's what we're going to talk about after the break.
Excellent.
Is Plan B, and then we'll give out Mary's information because she's also offering complimentary a session to help you, particularly in this space, because it can be a little scary in that transition space. EncoreExecutiveCoaching.com. You're listening to the John DePietro Show, and I'm Patricia Raskin filling in. Today, Black Friday, the day after Thanksgiving, I'm here with Nancy Thomas, my co-host from Tapestry Communication. We'll be right back with Mary-Osullivan, and we'll talk about what you do when you're in a job and you're unhappy, you want to go to the next step. What are the steps you can take to start moving in that direction to something different and new? EncoreExecutiveCoaching.com. Stay tuned because right after the break, we're going to talk to Mary just about that. Right here on News Talk 630 and 99.7 FM WPRO, we're the voice of Southern Rhode Island. Southern New England. Rhode Island and Southern New England.
That's right.
Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
John DePietro. Get the pulse of the people with John DePietro on News Talk 630 and 99.7 FM WPRO.
Hi, everyone. We are back. You are listening to The John DePietro Show, and I'm Patricia Raskin, filling in on the day after Thanksgiving and Black Friday. And we are here with Nancy Thomas from Tapestry Communications. Hi, my co-host today. And we are bringing on, again, we gave you a sneak preview and a taste before the break, Mary-Osullivan, who is the owner of Encore Executive and Professional Coaching. And, we talked to Chris Ciunci today about employee engagement. We talked to Lori Del Foss about managing stress at work. But, if none of that's working for you and you're really just not in the right place anymore, how do you gracefully exit? And that's Mary's specialty. She's going to help you. Hi, Mary.
Hello, Patricia.
Okay, so go ahead. Take it away and give us some tips.
It's really interesting what your other guest said, and it's so true. If you're in a place, in a large corporation in particular, where you don't feel engaged, and you do feel like they're treating you like a slot, you might have 2 master's degrees, but they're really not looking at you as a whole human being and a contributor to your company. My recommendation is, if you feel so compelled that you have to quit your job, my recommendation is don't quit yet.
Okay.
To plan for that. Think about all of the things that company has done for you over the many years you've worked there. You might feel very resentful that you've spent, let's say 20 or 30 years working very hard for the benefit of that company, and now they're not treating you well and you want to get out. Think about what they have given you over those years, as hard as it may be to turn the tables and look at it the other way. Think about the training you've received. I can tell you from my company, I received many years of real solid training, not only in how big companies work, but I received Six Sigma training. I got a certificate in contract administration. I was sent to an institute for high potential managers, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So those things can all work to your advantage. And if you walk away, you're taking those things with you.
All right, but Mary, what about those people that are in companies that haven't been there 20 years? Maybe they've been there 5 years.
Mm-hmm. Well, there's still a lot of benefit from that. You still can benefit from the training and such. However, if that's the situation that you're in and you want to really get out of there gracefully, I recommend that you look for somebody who's going to champion your cause. You may be able to get a layoff if you know that layoffs are coming. Now, why do I say that? People think that it's an insult to be laid off, but actually there's a ton of benefits that go along with being laid off depending upon the company that you're working for. So you find someone who's willing to give you the nod. Now, this time of year is a good time for that because companies are clearing their expenses at the end of the year. Usually the layoffs have been done by now, but if there's any possibility that there's another slot, because that's what we are in big companies, if there's another slot that's going to be eliminated or a combination of slots that they have to reduce, do your homework. Find out from somebody that's in the know, somebody in HR, somebody that you trust, if one of those layoffs will be available to you. Because if you quit, most likely you're not going to get unemployment. You're not going to get a severance package. You're not going to get a tuition reimbursement package. And you're not going to get some of the other perks that they give you when you get laid off. Some companies will send you to an outplacement group to help you. They'll coach you. They'll help you with your resume, et cetera. If you walk away, you're not going to get any of that.
Yes, see.
Now, a lot of Rhode Island companies are the smaller companies without any of those perks as well. So, you know, if you quit your job, doesn't that impact your ability to collect unemployment? I'm going to say if you quit a job without another job lined up for you, you don't want to put yourself in that double bind situation.
Exactly. So the other part of that, and you're exactly right, Nancy, is that if you you don't want to bother with going through, finding a champion and all of that. You really need to look for something else. And I've done a little research on this, and to be quite honest with you, this is not a bad time to look. A lot of people say, "Oh, it's the holidays. I can't go out. Nobody's around. Blah blah blah." Well, there's usually one person in authority that's left around the holiday time that can look over your resume, give you a little hint as to what to do next, and maybe say, "Hey, come on back in after the first of the year." This is the time to start rubbing elbows. Now, how do you do that? Well, it's holiday time. Don't thumb your nose at the holiday Christmas party. Go to it. There might be somebody there that can help you. If you belong to a society like Society of Human Resource Management or any of these, any special profession has an organization, you do not have to be a member to participate in their activities. You might have to pay $5 more, but I recommend that people take part in the networking that's offered because you want to be in the places where your cohorts are, where your fellow professionals are. And that's the way to go forward. Now, if you're really stuck right now and you've already quit and you haven't done your plan B, there's still opportunity for you. And why do I say that? Because it's holiday time. I was listening to the traffic reports.
Yeah.
The cars are backed up onto 495. Wow. Who's taking care of all those people?
Right.
The retailers are short-handed at this time. So, hello.
So there's a need, is what you're saying.
Yeah,
there's a need.
There's
folks,
a place to cover yourself for a short period.
All right, we've got a few minutes here, folks, but we will take your questions. If you have a question for Lori, Mary, I'm sorry. Sorry. Mary-Osullivan gives me an opportunity to say again, Encore Executive and Professional Coaching.
Right.
And the website is encoreexecutivecoaching.com. Call in now at 438-WPRO, 438-9776 with your question for Mary. If you're not happy in your job and you need some strategy, and she's giving you some very good advice. She will also, this is her specialty, she will also give you a complimentary consultation. So they should write you through the website. Right, Mary?
Right. 20-minute free consultation.
All right. Encore Executive Coaching.com. And if you forget that, Patricia at patriciaraskin.com if you're driving. Okay? EncoreExecutiveCoaching.com. All right. So we have some more time. So again, 438-WPRO, 438-9776.
I want to talk a little bit about volunteering. When you talk about networking,
yes,
get out there, whether it's going to the network events, going to other people's networking events, volunteering, not to hide in your house and say, woe is me, but how to take an aggressive stance.
One of the things that I've done that has really helped me is over the years, because I network so much, and of course it's different. I mean, I'm a business owner, so I'm not an employee, but I still, I'm working with clients. So what I have done many times is I know people over the years that either own companies or they're in a position where they know other people, and I can call them and say, listen, Mary, or listen, Chris, can we have a cup of coffee? I need a direction here. And so I guess my question is, should people be calling on those people? Sometimes they think, oh, I don't want to let them know I need something. But we all need something, Mary.
Yes, this is the time to swallow your pride, put a smile on your face, and follow the conventional wisdom, which says, dress the part, don't show up looking raggedy like you just rolled out of bed, spruce yourself up, find out where the people are, and start rubbing elbows, and make the connections with people that can help you. You never know. You can bump into a stranger at a networking event, and it's a completely protected environment. You're not going to be exposed to odd people or weird people or whatever, and exchange business cards. Make it a point to have a cup of coffee with somebody that you find interesting, that can help you, and maybe you can help them. That's the other surprising piece.
Absolutely.
I think that's good advice, even if you have a job you like. So if it turns into something that, you want to try to leave in a reasonable amount of time, you have a network. You already have something established.
You built it up.
Like you don't just disappear into the good job you have and say, oh, I've got everything I need.
Exactly. And I'd like to say a little bit more about volunteering. There is a book out there called Fired After 50. And it's very interesting because it does give a lot of hints, not only for those over 50, but for anybody who's out there looking. And one of the things they say about volunteering is if you were good at something in your job, like IT, for instance, find a nonprofit or an organization that needs volunteers in that area and just say, hey, I have this experience. I did this for 5 years at such and such a place. I can do it for you, because you don't know who else is in that sphere, who else is on the board, who else, as I said before, you're going to be rubbing elbows with. And there's a story in this book about a man over 50 who was fired as a CFO, and he got on the fundraising committee for his local library.
Wow.
And the chairman of the board of the fundraising committee was looking for a new CFO, and he hired this person after he saw the work that he did in the volunteer scenario.
Great advice.
So this is the thing, and exactly what you said before, don't hide under the covers. Don't let yourself, crawl into a shell and stay
All right.
there.
Mary, let's just give you a more dramatic situation to deal with here.
Okay.
What if you've already left the job? Maybe you got annoyed and got heated, and whatever it did, the bridge is gone.
You quit, yep.
All right. And now you're in a position where you may not have that much time to volunteer because you have to make it up financially. What advice do you give there, Mary?
So I do have clients like that, believe it or not. So what I explain to them is that you need a paycheck right now, and you're not going to find your dream job in a day or a week or even a month. So, as I said earlier, it's Christmas time, good time to try to get